Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the viewport of Earth's orbital defense station, her weathered face illuminated by the glow of approaching ships. They weren't the sleek, precise vessels of known spacefaring civilizations. These were battered hulks, trailing plasma and debris as they limped toward Earth's orbit. 15 ships of various alien designs, all showing signs of desperate combat. Multiple distress signals detected, Lieutenant Rodriguez reported from his station. They're broadcasting in over 30 different languages. Translation Matrix is working on it now. Sarah had spent 30 years preparing Earth for first contact, but not like this. Humanity had detected radio signals, analyzed light patterns from distant stars, and knew they weren't alone. They'd chosen to develop in isolation, building their defenses and technology while avoiding attention. Now the galaxy had found them anyway. The first translated message filled the command center. Please, they devour everything. The swarm comes. Within hours, the refugee ships had been guided to safe orbit, and their story emerged. A hostile force known as the Swarm was consuming civilization after civilization. Not through conventional warfare, but through a process that transformed entire planets and their inhabitants into more swarm biomass. The refugees were survivors from a dozen different species, united only by their desperate flight. Dr. James Patterson, Earth's leading xenobiologist, joined Sarah in the station's conference room as they interviewed the alien representatives. The holographic displays showed recordings of swarm attacks, massive organic ships that seemed to ignore conventional physics, protected by fields that absorbed or reflected all energy weapons. Our most advanced civilizations tried everything, explained Zarak, a crystalline being who had once been a senior scientist in the Aldebarani Unity. Antimatter weapons, quantum disruption fields, even attempts to alter local space-time. Nothing stops them. They adapt to every weapon, every strategy. How many worlds have been lost? Sarah asked, though she dreaded the answer. 73 inhabited systems in the past year alone. Zarak's crystalline form dimmed with grief. We estimate less than 2 years before they reach this sector of space. The human officials exchanged glances. Earth had developed its defenses expecting conventional threats. Other ships, other weapons. Not this. But as Sarah studied the attack footage again, something caught her eye. Dr. Patterson. She pointed to a particular sequence. What do you make of that cellular structure? The xenobiologist leaned forward, his eyes widening. It's not just biological. There's a pattern here. The swarm ships, they're not just organic masses. They're organized on a quantum level. Like a living computer, Sarah asked. More than that. They're processing reality itself, which is how they adapt so quickly. They're not just evolving their biology, they're evolving their fundamental interaction with physics. The alien refugees watched this exchange with growing confusion. Zarak's crystalline form flickered with puzzlement. Your species, you see something we missed. Sarah smiled grimly. Maybe. The race against time had begun, and humanity's greatest test lay ahead. In the coming months, they would either prove that sometimes the most primitive approach could solve the most advanced problem, or they would join the growing list of civilizations consumed by the... As the meeting dispersed, Maya remained before the hologram, watching the simulated quantum particles dance. Humanity had built something unprecedented, not by trying to match the advanced technology of other species, but by following their own path. Now they would discover if understanding their enemy at its most fundamental level was truly the key to defeating it. The Starweaver represented humanity's greatest achievement, but its true test still lay ahead. In 3 days, 5 humans would embark on a mission to either save the galaxy or join the countless civilizations already lost to the swarm's endless hunger. Captain Emma Reeves stood on the Starweaver's bridge, watching Earth shrink in the main viewport. The ship hummed with a sound unlike any other vessel, not the deep throb of conventional engines, but a strange harmonic resonance from the quantum processors that covered its hull. Quantum field stabilized, reported Dr. Sarah Kim, their quantum physicist, her fingers dancing over holographic controls. Neural interface is maintaining coherence at 99.8%. The bridge reflected humanity's unique approach to space combat. Instead of the vast command centers favored by advanced civilizations, it was intimate, almost cramped. 5 stations arranged in a circle, each crew member within arm's reach of the others. They weren't just a crew. They were a neural network of their own. Last tracking data shows swarm activity in the Carina sector. Lieutenant Marcus Rodriguez, their tactical officer, announced. 3 systems gone dark in the past week. Emma felt the ship's quantum field through her neural interface, a sensation like standing in shallow water, feeling ripples from distant movements. The Starweaver wasn't just a ship, it was an extension of its crew, their consciousness partially entangled with its quantum systems. Dr. Alex Chen, their xenobiologist, monitored the biological computers that were as much a part of the ship as its metal hull. Cellular matrices are functioning perfectly. The ship is learning. That's still creepy, commented Lieutenant Maya Hassan, their pilot, though her hands moved confidently over the controls. No offense to our partially living ship. Emma understood the sentiment. The Starweaver was unlike anything humanity had built before. Part machine, part living organism, part quantum computer. It was designed to think, adapt, and evolve, just like the enemy they hunted. Beginning quantum scan, Sarah announced as they approached the edge of the Carina sector, looking for coherence patterns matching swarm signatures. The view ahead showed seemingly empty space, but through their neural interfaces, the crew could sense more. Quantum disturbances, like ripples in reality itself, marked the swarm's passage. They weren't just following a trail. They were sensing the enemy's quantum wake. Contact, Marcus called suddenly. Multiple quantum signatures, bearing 047 mark 183. Distance, uncertain. Distance is always uncertain at quantum scales, Sarah reminded them. Everything exists as probabilities until we observe it. Emma smiled grimly. Then let's go make some observations. Maya, take us in. Everyone, prepare for quantum engagement. The Starweaver moved like no other ship in the galaxy. Instead of conventional propulsion, it surfed quantum probability waves, existing in multiple potential locations until it needed to be somewhere specific. The sensation through the neural interface was dizzying, like simultaneously dreaming and being awake. Swarm vessels confirmed. Alex reported, studying the biological readings. 3 ships, approximately Dreadnought class. They're feeding on something. The main display showed their quarry, massive organic vessels that seemed to bend reality around them. Through conventional sensors, they appeared as voids in space. Through the Starweaver's quantum senses, they were complex patterns of information and energy, constantly processing and adapting. They haven't detected us, Maya noted. The quantum camouflage is working. Emma felt her crew's tension through the neural link. Not fear, but focused anticipation. They had trained for months, running countless simulations, but this was different. They were about to attempt something never before tried in the history of the galaxy, communicating with the swarm on its own quantum level. Sarah, begin quantum signal analysis, Emma ordered. Alex, monitor their biological responses. Marcus, keep our conventional weapons hot, just in case. Maya, hold position at optimal quantum coherence range. The Starweaver hung in space, invisible to conventional detection, its quantum field reaching out to touch the swarm's own network. Through their neural interfaces, the crew could sense the complexity of the enemy's consciousness, a vast, alien intelligence that processed reality in ways no organic mind was meant to comprehend. Signal analysis complete, Sarah reported. Beginning quantum virus deployment. Remember, we'll only get one chance before they adapt. Emma took a deep breath, feeling her crew's consciousness mesh more deeply with the ship's systems. Their first real test was about to begin. Either their understanding of the swarm's fundamental nature would prove correct, or they would join the countless civilizations already consumed by this galactic nightmare. "Initiate Operation Quantum Strike," she commanded. "Let's show the galaxy why you should never underestimate human ingenuity." The Starweaver's quantum field pulsed, reaching out to make first contact with an enemy that had destroyed civilizations far more advanced than humanity. But sometimes, Emma knew, the most primitive approach, understanding your enemy at their most basic level, was the most sophisticated solution of all. The quantum virus deployed like ripples in a pond, invisible to conventional sensors, but blazingly bright through the Starweaver's quantum interface. Captain Emma Reeves felt the ship's systems surge as they initiated first contact with the swarm's neural network. "Quantum coherence stable," Sarah reported, her voice tense. "Initial penetration successful. They haven't detected the viral pattern yet." Through their neural link, the crew experienced the swarm's consciousness, an alien intelligence vast beyond comprehension. It wasn't malevolent in any human sense. It simply processed reality differently, consuming civilizations as naturally as humans consumed food. "Their biological responses are changing," Alex announced, monitoring the organic computers. "The virus is triggering cascade effects in their quantum network." Suddenly, the swarm ships turned, their massive forms distorting space around them. They'd detected the intrusion. The hunt was about to become a battle. "Multiple quantum fluctuations," Marcus called out. "They're trying to adapt." Maya's hands flew over her controls, guiding the Starweaver through probability waves as the swarm launched its counterattack. Reality itself seemed to bend as the enemy ships attempted to isolate and destroy the intruder in their network. "They're not just adapting," Sarah said, her eyes wide as she analyzed the data. "They're evolving new quantum states. Our virus isn't spreading fast enough." Emma felt the strain through the neural interface as the ship's systems struggled to maintain quantum coherence. "Alex, what are their biological systems doing?" "They're restructuring, creating new neural pathways to route around the infected portions of their network." He paused, studying the readings. "Wait, this is familiar." "Familiar how?" Emma demanded, as Maya executed another impossible maneuver to avoid a reality-warping attack from the nearest swarm ship. "It's like an immune response," Alex explained. "They're treating our virus like a disease, generating quantum antibodies." Emma smiled grimly. "Then let's give their immune system something bigger to worry about." "Sarah, deploy the secondary viral package." This was humanity's twist. They hadn't just created one quantum virus, but layers of them, designed to trigger different responses in the swarm's network. As the second virus deployed, the enemy ship's reactions became more erratic. "Their quantum coherence is destabilizing," Sarah reported. "The combinatorial effect is working." Through the neural interface, the crew felt the swarm's confusion. Its vast intelligence had never encountered an attack it couldn't adapt to, couldn't process and overcome. But humanity had centuries of experience fighting diseases that evolved countermeasures. "They're trying to consume us," Marcus warned as one of the swarm ships moved closer, attempting to incorporate our quantum patterns into their network. "Perfect," Emma said, surprising her crew. "Maya, take us closer. Let them try." "Captain," Maya's voice was uncertain, but her hands were already moving to comply. "They think they can absorb our technology, adapt to it like they've done with everything else," Emma explained. "But we're not just technology. We're a virus, a vaccine, and a fatal mutation all in one." The Starweaver dove toward the nearest swarm ship, its quantum field merging with the enemy's own network. Through their neural interface, the crew felt the alien consciousness trying to analyze them, to break down their quantum patterns and repurpose them. Now, Sarah, full spectrum deployment. The final stage of humanity's plan unfolded. The Starweaver didn't just carry quantum viruses. Its entire structure was designed to trigger a fatal response in the swarm's network. As the enemy tried to consume them, they instead absorbed patterns that caused their quantum coherence to collapse. Chain reaction initiating, Sarah called out. Their network is fragmenting. The crew watched in awe as the massive swarm ships began to break apart, their quantum fields collapsing into conventional spacetime. Without the coherence that held them together, they were just organic matter, unable to maintain their complex existence across multiple realities. It's spreading through their quantum links, Alex reported. The destabilization is propagating to other swarm vessels across the sector. Emma felt the victory through the neural interface, not just their own triumph, but the rippling effect as the swarm's vast network began to unravel. Humanity hadn't just found a way to fight the unconquerable enemy. They turned its greatest strength into a fatal weakness. Send the signal to Earth, she ordered. Operation Quantum Strike successful. The vaccine is working. As the swarm ships dissolved into harmless organic debris, Emma reflected on the irony. The most advanced civilizations in the galaxy had failed to stop this threat because they thought too advanced. It took humanity, with its history of fighting diseases and understanding biological systems, to see the solution. Multiple quantum signatures fading across the sector, Marcus reported. The collapse is spreading faster than we predicted. The galaxy was about to change. Humanity, the species others had dismissed as primitive, had succeeded where the most advanced civilizations had failed, not through superior technology, but through superior understanding. Take us home, Maya, Emma ordered. Let's show the galaxy what primitive humans can do. The Starweaver turned toward Earth, leaving behind a cascade of quantum collapse that would save countless civilizations. Humanity's first major galactic intervention would be remembered not for overwhelming force, but for the elegant simplicity of understanding an enemy at its most fundamental level. The Galactic Council chamber was silent as Admiral Chen finished presenting the Starweaver's mission data. The vast circular hall, filled with representatives from hundreds of species, had watched in stunned silence as humanity's single ship accomplished what their combined fleets could not. The quantum cascade effect has now spread through 97% of known swarm territories, she concluded. Our latest scans show no signs of coherent swarm activity remaining in the galaxy. Zirak, the crystalline being who had first brought news of the swarm to Earth, glowed with amazement. You didn't just defeat them, you understood them. Something we never thought to do. Captain Emma Reeves stood with her crew beside Admiral Chen. The Starweaver team had become legendary in the 6 months since their victory. Their neural interfaces had been removed, but they still moved with uncanny coordination, changed forever by their experience of sharing consciousness. The true victory wasn't in the weapon we created, Dr. Kim explained to the assembly. It was in recognizing that even the most advanced threat can be vulnerable to fundamental principles. The Council's premier, a being of pure energy, moved forward. Humanity has proven itself in ways we never expected. We dismissed you as primitive because you still used biological computers and kinetic weapons. We were wrong. Sometimes the old ways are the best ways, Emma responded. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our perspective. We never stopped looking for simple solutions to complex problems. The changes were already visible throughout the galaxy. The refugee species were returning to their homes, rebuilding with new appreciation for primitive human approaches to science and defense. The quantum technology developed for the Starweaver had opened new fields of research, combining biological and quantum computing in ways the advanced civilizations had never considered. We have a proposal, the Premier announced. Humanity will be offered full membership in the Galactic Council with additional responsibilities. We want you to establish a new division, the Innovation Corps. Your mission will be to approach galactic threats from unique perspectives, finding solutions that others might miss. Admiral Chen exchanged glances with her team. This was more than acceptance. It was recognition that humanity's different way of thinking was valuable. We accept with one condition. Name it, the Premier responded. The Innovation Corps must include members from all species, not just humans. Different perspectives working together. That's how we'll face the next challenge. The chamber erupted in agreement. Humanity had earned their place not by matching the advanced technology of other species, but by proving that innovation comes in many forms. Dr. Patterson stepped forward, addressing the council. The swarm taught us something important. The most advanced solution isn't always the best solution. Sometimes you need to step back, look at the fundamental nature of a problem, and approach it from an unexpected angle. The Starweaver crew stood proudly as the council chambers filled with discussion of the future. Their ship, now being studied by scientists from across the galaxy, had become a symbol of this new philosophy, the marriage of simple principles with advanced understanding. What happens now? Lieutenant Hassan asked quietly. Emma smiled, watching the various species mingling, sharing ideas with new respect for different approaches. Now we do what humans have always done. We adapt, we innovate, and we help others see problems from new angles. In the years that followed, the galaxy changed. The Innovation Corps became legendary, combining perspectives from hundreds of species to solve challenges that once seemed insurmountable. Humanity's primitive approaches were studied alongside the most advanced technologies, creating new hybrid solutions that neither could have achieved alone. The Starweaver remained unique. No other ship quite like it was ever built, but its legacy lived on in countless innovations across the galaxy. It stood as a reminder that sometimes the most powerful weapon isn't the most advanced technology, but the ability to think differently about a problem. Admiral Chen's final words to the council became a motto for the new age. In the face of impossible challenges, look not to the most advanced solution, but to the most appropriate one. Innovation isn't about having the best technology, it's about having the best understanding. And so humanity, once dismissed as primitive, helped lead the galaxy into a new era of innovation and cooperation. They had proven that being different wasn't a weakness, it was perhaps the greatest strength of all. As the story of the Starweaver was told across the stars, it carried a simple message. Sometimes the most primitive approach is the most sophisticated solution of all.